Okay, we're now in the main window status bar configuration. If you hear a whooshing in the background, it's my air conditioning and the fan because it's really hot here. Okay, right up here, see. Main window status bar configuration. What does that mean? This whole thing right here is the main window. Okay? Down at the bottom of this main window are these little words. Some of them are on and some of them are grayed out. See right down here where I'm clicking the mouse. Alright. That's called a status bar. And that's our first option. Enable or disable. If this box is unchecked, all this thing is going to disappear. See, watch. I've unchecked it now. See? Checked, unchecked. Now watch. See, it disappeared. That's bad. You don't want that. You want it checked. Main window, checked. Now we say OK again, and now it appears again at the bottom. Why do you want this? Because each one of these things, you can click on it at the bottom. Well, you could if I weren't recording. In my recording it doesn't work, but if you clicked on each one of these words at the bottom, they change. Okay? But because I'm recording, it doesn't work. The auto screen recorder overrides. So like, let's say I wanted to click on limits and I wanted to display my limits. What would normally happen when you click on that is that this little puppy would come up. And you see it's lighted up here as limits because I have limited it. Okay? I had it limited to 3 books. But if I say select all, so everything is checked and I have no limits, I click OK, and you see the word limit here disappeared. So if it's not grayed, it means it's not on. It's a real handy way without having to go through the menu of knowing what options you've got checked. So the rest of this little main window thing is just basically what kind of defaults do you want. Wait a minute, that was the wrong one. This one. What do you want as your default? Because you can change all the defaults in other ways. Alright, so when, just normally, what do you want? You want the status bar on, okay? Current search version. That's this thing down here. It says NAU. That's the current search version right now, which is the New American Standard 1995. I like that version only because it has the Old Testament quotes and the New Testament all in caps, so it's easy to find. Okay, it's not the best translation. None of them are. Okay, so current search version, you want that checked as on. First limits active. Yeah, you want that on because if there are limits, it's going to display here, down here at the bottom next to NAU. Okay, so you want that box checked. Strong's numbers active. If you're still stuck on Strong's, hey, if you turn that box on, then you'll get the Strong's numbers to show in the verses when you read, when you go through here. This is your browse window. If you're stuck on Strong's numbers, Strong's is only going to show for the King James Version and a couple others. I think the Web Bible and a couple other Bibles it'll show. So if I had turned Strong's numbers on, the Strong's numbers for each of these words would show. Okay, but I think that's kind of dumb because look, see if I put my word on here. Well, I've only set it for text footnotes because I've turned Strong's off. I don't like Strong's. Okay, but see, there's one. Iniquity. See, there you go. There's a Strong's number right there at the bottom. It's Strong's number 5. Oops, wait a minute. Come on. Hey, baby. No, I'm in the wrong. There we go. I'm on KJV now. See, there's the Strong's number right there. So why do you need to turn them on when you can see them anytime you put your mouse on the word? Okay, but some people like to show the Strong's numbers. I find that peculiarly annoying. But Maybe you like it. Well, if you like it, then turn the Strong's numbers on, right? Right. Where is it? Right here. See, I have it unchecked, and you want to check it if you like that. And then what will happen is the Strong's numbers will be interspersed right here in the text instead of just below in the window. I don't like that, so I'm turning it off. Browse mode active. That's the same thing as these little feet. See, this is the multi-version mode. And this is browse when you only want to look at the translation you've made active. Okay? Turn the feet on again, and you go back to your multi-version. Right? But what do you want as your default? Okay, even though you can change it on the fly. Well, you can check it or not check it. Okay? Analysis window. What is that again? Oh, my computer's going nuts. The analysis window is this little thing here. See, it says analysis. It used to be called auto info. And you can size it. You've seen me do that in the videos. Okay, but you can turn the whole thing off. You can do this button up here at the top left, where I'm clicking now. You can turn it on and off. It's a little toggle. Okay, but what do you want as your default? Well, you select your default right here. Default, you want it on. Okay? Then, if you want to make notes, this is another tab down here. See where I'm clicking on notes? Right here. This thing here is used a full-fledged editor, except it won't allow you to format color. Alright, but if you paste something that's colored, it'll show up here. But you can't format it. Okay? And then you got, oh wait a minute, see? That was a right click. Let me do this again. See, you can right click, and that'll let you cut, copy, paste, check spelling, search for selected text, copy, and then you got the filter. Filter, I'm not sure what filter it is. Filter options, let's see what those are. Ah, see, you can change the text to automatically be some other font. In other words, if you got font that's Arial, you can change it to, like, let's say, because BibleWorks defaults are like Arial. Alright, well, if it's an Arial 10 point, then you can change it to Arial 12. It's a conditional formatting. Alright? I don't use that, but hey. Okay, show the toolbar. That's this thing up here. See, that's the toolbar right up here. Show the toolbar, don't show it. See, I clicked it off. Click it back on. Show the status bar. That's the thing right there at the bottom that's telling you what the note number is. So if I don't want the status bar, that goes off. See, it went off. It's down here. I want it back on. And then you got your standard file, edit, but you can't do color. Oh, yes you can. Text, color. Well, what do you know? See, I'm wrong. Text, color. Well, guess not. Guess text, color, and then nothing happened. Text, color. Doesn't give you any options. Okay, maybe that's something they're yet developing. Background color. Nothing happens when you select color. Paragraph, that's for formatting the paragraph. And view, whether you view the status bar or toolbar. Okay, so these notes, what's different about this, and remember, we're right here, verse-based notes on. You want that checked. Because what's going to happen is, like, the next time, let's say, I don't want 90 verse 1, I want 90 verse 6. It's not this slow in practice, it's slow because I'm recording. Okay, if I had a note on 96, like let's say I wanted to make a note that said, I don't want 6, I want 8. Again, it's not this slow in practice. If I want to make a note on 8 that says care and kathib and accents all show up in Psalm 98. Okay? And then I can format it. See, that makes it bold. Alright. Put it in return so it's not so close to the thingy. Alright. So now let's see if I can apply color, because I have actual text. Okay, so there you just saw that. If you apply color, the default is red, and you just don't get a choice. Okay, so now what happens if I hit accent color? Text, what's background color? See? So those are their own defaults. So if you want it to just be red, then you just hit text color. You don't get a choice as to which color. Okay, and if you wanted a background color, it automatically assumes that's a highlight. Okay, but that's better than nothing, right? Okay, so what's going to happen is when you exit BibleWorks, like let's say I want to go now to verse 6. It's taking a long time only because I'm recording. Okay, now let's say I'm back in my analysis window, and now let's say I pick verse 8. I'm sorry this is taking so slow. Again, it's due to recording. Okay, now I'm on verse 8. Alright, see this little V down here? At the bottom in the status window where I'm clicking? That V is telling me I got a note there. See, and there's a little V here too. And there's my note. Okay. So that's, you know, kind of interesting. You want to be sure to have that. So verse-based user notes on, yes, you want to check that. Notify user. Yeah, if you don't check that, then it won't matter if they're on because you won't know. So you want that checked. Same thing for chapter-based notes. Instead of this being a V, it's going to be a C. So you want chapter-based notes on in case you want to just make notes based on the chapter. And notify the user when chapter-based notes are on. And instead of this being a V, it's going to be a C. See that I don't happen to have any, so it's here's your chapter notes and here's the C. Right down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's right next to verse notes. Okay, so now we're gonna go back. I wanna go back. Okay, here we are. Chapter-based notes on, check. Notify user when chapter-based notes are available, check. Translator notes. What are translator notes? This is when the translator has something to say about that passage. In other words, the NIV translators might have inserted something. Like in Luke 1:15 and in Genesis 1:2, at least in printed NIV Bibles, they make a note that the translation in Luke 1:15 should read born, not in the womb, but born. And then in Genesis 1:2, in the hardback version of the NIV, it says became. The earth became formless and void. And both of those little notes from the NIV translators are correct. The earth was not created by God formless and void. He even says so in Isaiah 45:18 and 19. I didn't create it that way. So the NIV translators got that verse right, and the KJV translators got that verse wrong. Same thing in Luke 1:15. Paul was born. In Luke 1:15 and I think it's Galatians 4, might be Galatians 1:15. Paul said he was born. And the Bible says that the baby John will be born filled with the Spirit, not have the Spirit while he's in the womb, because there's no soul in the womb. So Luke 1:15's note in the NIV translation says, when born, which is exactly what the Greek test says. Okay, so you want those translator notes on. Okay, enough said. Okay, now what's this thing with accent sensitive searching? Generally speaking, you don't want that on. Here's what an accent looks like, okay? This is an accent in Greek, and they don't give you the right instructions. Here, I better turn this off. Okay, accent sensitive searching is what we're on. Oh, my computer's hanging up. Okay, this is an accent in Greek. Okay, it's the true, proper way to pronounce the Greek letters, which I myself don't do the way I should, is to use pitch accents. That's like singing. It's a modulation of the voice. It is not stress. All the people are telling you now it's stress. Even BibleWorks has this little module of spoken Greek where you can learn the Greek, how to speak it. Well, they don't do it right. They say autos. It isn't autos. It's autos. You put you have what's called a falling accent, which is right here. This is a falling accent. Your voice falls at the end of the vowel. It doesn't go up and it doesn't go down. It falls. It does not stress. All right? So that's a falling voice. It's like Mandarin tone 4. Okay? This is like Mandarin tone 2, where your voice goes up while you say the vowel. Ni. All right? That means you in my bad Chinese. All right? It is not it is not a stress accent, but they tell you to pronounce it as a stress accent. But that is an accent. If you wanted to search on only that accent, you cannot do so unless you pick Tools, Options, Main Window Status Bar, CCC, Accent Sensitive Searching. You'd have to check that box in order to search on the medium blue highlighted word here in Enopion. Okay? Stress accent in Greek is on the penultimate syllable. Sometimes it's on the syllable before the penultimate. Alright, that's the norm in real Greek, which nobody's pronouncing anymore, including me. I still say it wrong. Okay? So if you want to search on that accent, you got to click this box. I submit to you that's a dumb idea, so I don't do it. Okay, vowel point sensitive searching. What's that? Well, see these little marks underneath the Hebrew letters? Those are vowel points. Okay, this one down here looks like a little T is called a comet. This one underneath the N here, which looks like a triangle of dots, is called a segol, and it's a short E sound, generally. Almost a sound sometimes. Alright? Do you want to search on all those? Well, then you got to mark this thing with vowel point sensitive searching here, down here. You'd have to search, you'd have to click that. Okay? I submit to you that's going to really be annoying. But sometimes, you know, you want just one spelling that you're searching on. Okay, you better be right about how to spell it. Alright, so then you click that. That's what you want. Here's our next little puppy. Search on the care. Or search on the kitib. What the heck is that? Alright, I'm going to show you. This thing here is a care. It's got little brackets. The Care is a school of Jewish scholars who, when they engage in what's called textual criticism, and they go through the Hebrew and they say, you know what, I think God really spelled it this way. That's the Care school. Then you got the Ketib school, and that's what marked with parentheses, and they think it's spelled that way. So this is a play on the word Seth, very clever Hebrew. Okay. Is this play on the word Seth, meaning, you know, Adam's son? Is it spelled S-A-T-T-A? That's what the Kathib school says. But the CARE school says no, it's spelled S-A-T-T-A-H with a H. So it's one letter difference. Do you want to search on those special terms? Do you want to be able to do that? If the answer is yes, whoops, that's the help menu. You don't want that. If the answer is yes, you want to be sure to include your search so that you can search on that stuff. Then you want these boxes checked. And the answer is yes, you do want them checked. Otherwise, you're going to ignore those words. Okay, and as you can see, you don't want to ignore those words. Because you won't find the word Seth in that verse at all if you don't check these boxes, because you got two spellings of the same word, with or without the H at the end. Well, you want to search on the word Seth. It's very funny. Moses is making a funny point here about appointment. The word Seth, which is Adam's son, who carries on the name. All right. He was appointed to carry on the name. That's what this means. Okay? So it's appointed. It means appointed. And this is the verse about the end of the Adamic period. So it's very funny that the word Seth would be used here. Okay? But you wouldn't know that it was even here if you don't check this box that says search on CARE and search on Kathib. Right? You wouldn't be able to find it. So you want that checked. Okay. Show current keyboard language. This is really important, alright? That's your default. But see down here, let's go to the analysis window so we get rid of that. See down here, see where it says English, where I'm clicking English, United States at the bottom of the screen. Alright, that's your keyboard. That's telling me my default keyboard right now is English. Alright, you can change it just by clicking on that, which you would see happen if I weren't recording. You just click on it twice and up would pop your keyboard. Okay, you want it to show the language, because if you're thinking in more than one language, and most people do, except for some of us Americans, if you're thinking in more than one language, you might want to type in more than one language. So you want to know what language it is that you last used. Okay, so you want that checked. That's it for this segment. And next time, we're going to come to export options. Oh boy, that's good.